At a lavish wedding, a single mother's unexpected words about her secret past with an oil magnate ignite tension and reveal hidden truths that could change everything. The grand ballroom sparkled with chandeliers overhead. Guests mingled, laughter mixing with the clinking of glasses. At the center stood Victor Steele, an oil magnate with a reputation. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and wore an expensive suit. His icy blue eyes scanned the room. People turned to him, drawn by his presence. "Victor, there you are," a voice called out. It was his mother, a woman in red, waving him over. He approached, but his mind wandered. He had to face his ex-fiancée, Clara, tonight, the one who had left him for someone else. The thought made his jaw tighten. Meanwhile, across the room, Sarah adjusted her hair nervously. She was here for her sister's sake, not because she wanted to be. A single mother, she wore a simple black dress. It felt out of place among the glamorous outfits. She spotted Victor. Her heart raced. Something about him was magnetic, but she brushed it off. This wasn't her world. "Are you okay?" her sister asked, eyeing her. "You look like you've seen a ghost." "Just taking it all in," Sarah replied, forcing a smile. She was not here to make a scene, but when she caught Clara's eye, the smiling bride, something snapped. Clara waved as if they were friends. Sarah could feel the heat rising in her cheeks. "Just ignore her," her sister said softly. "Enjoy the night." But Sarah felt a surge of defiance. This was her chance to stand tall. She took a deep breath. As she walked toward the bar, Victor noticed her. His gaze lingered. There was something refreshing about her vulnerability. "Can I get you a drink?" he asked, stepping beside her. Sarah was taken off guard. Sure. Just water, please." She looked at him, curious. "Isn't this a bit awkward for you?" Victor shrugged. "Awkward is my middle name in situations like this." He smirked, but his eyes were serious. "How about you?" She chuckled softly. "I'm just here for the free food." The conversation flowed easily. For a moment, Sarah forgot the tension in the room. But then Clara walked by, her laughter ringing out. Victor's smile faded. The air grew heavy. Sarah could sense the shift. She straightened her back, her heart racing. "Let's show them we're not afraid," she said, surprising herself. Victor looked at her, intrigued. "Are you sure?" he asked. "Yeah. I came here to have fun, after all." She met his gaze, determination in her eyes. He grinned. "Then let's make it a night to remember." He thought he was in control. He wasn't. Victor took a sip of his whiskey, watching Clara laugh with her new husband. Sarah stood next to him, her drink untouched. "How did we get dragged into this?" she asked, tilting her head toward the couple. Victor sighed. "My mother thought it would help me move on, inviting me here. She thinks I'll just forget Clara." He glanced at Sarah, wanting to see her reaction. "And you?" "I'm just here for support. My sister is over the moon," Sarah replied, rolling her eyes. "I didn't sign up for this drama." "Looks like we're in the same boat," Victor said, a hint of a smile creeping in. "What if we made a deal?" "What kind of deal?" Sarah raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "I'll help you enjoy the night. You help me keep up appearances. We pretend to be a couple, just for the evening." He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "No one has to know it's fake." Sarah considered it. The way he looked at her made her heart race again. "What's in it for you?" she asked cautiously. "I need to show Clara I've moved on, and you need a break from your sister's excitement." He grinned. "And let's be honest, it'll be fun." "Fun, huh?" She chewed her lip. "I don't know. Think about it. We'll grab their attention and make them jealous." He pointed subtly toward Clara, who was now eyeing them. "Let them see we're happy." Sarah took a deep breath. "All right, but just for tonight." Victor reached his hand out. "Deal?" "Deal." She shook his hand, feeling a spark. The night had just changed for both of them, but as the laughter and chatter surrounded them, Victor felt a twinge of something deeper. What started as a simple plan was quickly turning into something more complicated. "So what's our first move?" Sarah asked, a mischievous grin forming on her lips. "We dance," Victor said. holding out his hand. Sarah hesitated, then took it. As they walked toward the dance floor, the tension in the air shifted. Heads turned their way. Clara's smile faltered slightly, and Sarah could feel the eyes on them. "Ready?" Victor whispered as they reached the center. "Let's do this," she replied, excitement bubbling inside her. But what neither of them knew was how easily this night could change everything. The next hit was closer than they knew. Victor led Sarah to the dance floor, and the music swelled around them. He pulled her close, his hand resting on her waist. "Just follow my lead," he said confidently. "Easy for you to say," Sarah replied, trying to maintain a light tone. She felt awkward, unsure of how to move. The dance floor was crowded, and eyes were on them. "I'm not a great dancer. You'll be fine. Just trust me." Victor's eyes sparkled with challenge. He began to sway, guiding her with gentle nudges. "Feel the rhythm." Sarah stiffened. "This isn't some movie scene, Victor. It feels weird." She pulled back, creating space between them. "Can't we just stand?" Victor frowned, but a grin followed. "Where's the fun in that? We're pretending, remember?" He stepped closer again, trying to take control. "You need to loosen up." "I'm not going to just dance like we're in a fairy tale," she shot back, crossing her arms. "I'm not your puppet." He raised an eyebrow, a challenge sparking in his gaze. "A puppet? You're more than that, Sarah. You're strong. Show me." He leaned in, lowering his voice. "Let go. You might actually enjoy it." She hesitated, feeling the heat rise in her cheeks. His words stirred something inside her, but she wasn't ready to give in. "I don't want to impress anyone, especially not Clara," she said firmly. "Then don't impress anyone. Just enjoy yourself." Victor stepped back, watching her. "Show me your fierce side. Let them see you." He gestured toward the guests, watching intently. "You can take charge." Sarah glared at him, heart racing. "You think this is a game? I'm here for my sister, not to entertain you or anyone else." "Then why did you agree to my deal?" His tone was teasing, but there was an edge to it. "You're not backing out now, are you?" She took a deep breath, battling her frustration. "I'm not backing out, but I won't be your showpiece. I set the rules too." She met his gaze, defiance clear in her eyes. Victor smirked, impressed and frustrated. "All right, let's see what you've got, Sarah." He stepped back, giving her space. "Show me your moves, then." She took a moment, then grinned back at him. "Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you." As the music pulsed, she let the rhythm take over. And for a brief moment, she forgot about everything else. The dance floor shrank, and it was just the two of them. Victor watched closely, intrigued by her sudden change. Maybe this night would unfold in ways neither of them expected. One move would change everything. Victor watched as Sarah began to lose herself in the music. She swayed her hips, letting go of some of her tension. He felt a rush of excitement. "There you go. That's it," he encouraged. "Don't get too comfortable," she shot back, a playful grin on her face. "This is only for tonight. We have rules." He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. "Rules? Like what?" Victor asked, intrigued. He stepped closer, feeling the energy shift. She answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied. "Not tonight." He chose the next words with care. "First, no strings attached. We're just pretending." She met his eyes, serious now. Second, no talking about the past, and no personal questions. He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. Victor raised an eyebrow. "And what if I break those rules?" She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. They held eye contact. Neither blinked. "Then you'll find out just how fierce I can be," Sarah said with a smirk. "You think I'm just a single mom, but I've been through tougher stuff." "Okay, I respect that," Victor replied, holding up his hands. "But if we're doing this, I need you to promise me something too." She looked at him, curious. "What's that?" "No matter what happens tonight, we don't let anyone see us break character." Clara can't know the truth. If she does, he paused, letting the weight of his words settle. That could ruin everything for both of us. Sarah nodded slowly. I can handle that. But you have to keep things light, no drama. We're here to have fun. Deal. He smirked, feeling the tension lift. But just as he stepped back, ready to lead her again, he noticed Clara's gaze on them. Her smile was tight. That was a warning. He felt the stakes rise. This was not just a game anymore. Ready for round two? He asked, trying to keep the mood light. But he felt the weight of their unspoken clause lingering in the air. It was a thin line between fun and chaos, and both of them were precariously balancing on it. She was about to cross a line. Victor took a deep breath, feeling the buzz of the dance floor. Sarah had loosened up, and it surprised him. Let's show them we're good together, he said, placing his hand on her back. She tensed slightly at his touch. Just remember the rules, Sarah replied, her voice steady. No drama. We're just playing a part. She stepped back slightly, creating distance between them. Victor smirked, testing her boundaries. Playing a part? I thought we were having fun, he teased, leaning closer again. You're good at this, but I want to see more. She raised an eyebrow, folding her arms. And what if I can't deliver? Then I guess I'll have to help you, he said, challenging her to take a risk. Let loose, Sarah. Show me the real you. She swallowed hard. The challenge hung in the air. Why are you pushing so hard? She asked, keeping her voice calm. Are you trying to impress me or show Clara you've moved on? Victor shrugged, biting back a smile. Maybe a bit of both. Don't think you can use me to get back at her, Sarah warned, stepping back even more. The tension thickened as they stared each other down. He stepped forward, invading her personal space. You think I care about what she thinks? He challenged. This is about us, tonight. She met his gaze, unwavering. Fine, I'll play the game, but don't underestimate me. I'm not here to be your pawn. His lips curled into a smirk. Then let's see how fierce you can be. The music swelled around them, and all eyes were on them. Clara glared across the floor, her smile gone. The stakes were rising, and Victor felt the thrill of the chase. Let's make this night one to remember, he whispered, leaning in closer. A spark ignited between them as the crowd watched, unaware of the private power struggle unfolding. As the tension simmered, Sarah wondered just how far she would go to prove her strength, and how far he'd push her to find out. The next hit was closer than they knew. The gala buzzed with excitement as guests mingled under twinkling chandeliers. Victor scanned the room, adjusting his cufflinks. You ready for this? He asked Sarah, who stood beside him, her eyes wide. I guess so, she replied, glancing at the crowd, but this feels way too fancy for me. She tugged at her dress. It was a deep red, and she felt out of place. What if I make a fool of myself? You won't, Victor assured her. Just stick with me. He flashed a confident smile. Remember, we're a couple. Own it. She took a deep breath, trying to match his energy, but Clara's presence loomed large, and she could feel the pressure. As they made their way through the throng, Clara spotted them. Her eyes narrowed. Victor, she called, striding over. Having fun, I see. Her tone dripped with sarcasm. Sarah stiffened, but Victor held his ground. Just enjoying the night, he said smoothly. He turned to Sarah, a glimmer of mischief in his eyes. Want to show them how good we are together? Sarah hesitated, but then nodded. Victor took her hand, leading her to the center of the room. The music softened, and all eyes were on them. Okay, she whispered, her pulse racing. What now? Just follow my lead, he said, spinning her into a slow dance. The crowd watched, curiosity evident. She felt the tension melt away as they moved together. See? Not so hard, he said, grinning. But in that moment, something shifted. Sarah felt a spark, a connection deeper than their playful facade. Suddenly, Victor turned serious. No matter what, stay close to me. I won't let anything happen. Just then, a loud crash echoed from the back of the room. A table tipped over and the crowd gasped. Silence fell. All eyes shifted to the source of the noise. Victor pulled Sarah closer, shielding her from the chaos. "What was that?" she asked, her heart racing again. "We need to get out of here." "No," he said firmly, eyes fixed ahead. "Stay with me. We can't let anyone see us panic." He took charge, weaving through the crowd. As they reached the exit, he turned back and raised his chin. "Just remember, we're in this together." Just then, he noticed Clara watching them intently, a sly smile creeping across her face. The tension hung thick in the air, and Victor felt the stakes rise. "Ready for anything?" he asked, his voice low. Sarah looked at him, determination gleaming in her eyes. "Let's do this." But this was only the start. The music faded into the background as Sarah and Victor stepped off the dance floor. They found a quiet corner away from the crowd. Sarah's heart raced, but not just from the dancing. The earlier excitement was replaced by a feeling she had buried for so long. Victor noticed. "You okay?" he asked softly. "Yeah, I'm fine," she replied, forcing a smile. But the lie felt heavy in her chest. She took a breath, looking out at the gala. The laughter and chatter felt distant. "It's just a lot." Victor studied her. "It's more than that. You seem off." Sarah paused, feeling vulnerable. She glanced at him. "I haven't been to events like this since my husband left." The weight of those words hung in the air. Victor's expression softened. "You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to." "No, I should. I need to," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "It's just hard. I never wanted to be alone. The kids need stability. I need to pretend I'm strong." Victor nodded, understanding. "It's okay to feel weak, Sarah. That doesn't make you any less strong." Tears threatened to spill, but she held them back. "I felt so lost when he left. It was a dark time. I thought I'd never find my way again." Victor stepped closer, offering quiet support. "You did find your way. You're here. You're taking care of your kids. That says a lot." His words struck a chord, and she took a shaky breath. "Some days, I still feel like I'm just going through the motions. I don't want anyone to see that weakness." Victor frowned slightly, his tone sincere. "You don't have to hide it with me. I want you to be real." A moment passed, and Sarah searched his eyes, finding something unexpected, a spark of understanding. "Thanks, Victor. I just didn't expect to share this tonight." She tried to lighten the mood, but the gravity of the moment was palpable. "I guess we all have our battles, right?" He nodded, a soft smile breaking through. "Exactly. And you're not alone in this." As they stood close, the noise of the gala faded. Sarah felt a shift. Victor tightened his grip on Sarah's hand as Clara's laughter rang out. "Don't let her get under your skin," he said, keeping his voice steady. "She's just trying to provoke you." "I know," Sarah replied, trying to sound confident, but her heart raced. Clara was good at twisting the knife. "It's just, she always knows how to hit me where it hurts." He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. Victor stepped closer, creating a barrier between Sarah and Clara's gaze. "Just ignore her. Focus on us. We're here to have fun, remember?" He flashed a reassuring smile, but Sarah could see the tension in his jaw. She answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied, "not tonight." He chose the next words with care. "Yeah, fun," she echoed, but her voice lacked conviction. The gala buzzed around them, but Clara's presence felt like a storm cloud. "Do you really think we can keep this up?" He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. "Absolutely," Victor said, his tone firm. "Just stick with me. I won't let her ruin this for you." He glanced back at Clara, who was now chatting with a group. "Let's show her we're better than her games." She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. They held eye contact. Neither blinked. Sarah felt a surge of strength from his words. "Okay, then let's do it," she said, her voice gaining momentum. Together, They stepped into the throng once more. As Victor pulled her closer to the dance floor, she felt the weight lift slightly. They moved together, laughing and twirling. For the first time that night, the tension eased. But Clara's sharp gaze still lingered, and Sarah knew this battle was far from over. The next hit was closer than they knew. The gala was winding down, but the energy still pulsed in the air. Sarah and Victor had danced through the night, laughter mixing with the music. They slipped outside for a breath of fresh air, the cool night wrapping around them like a blanket. Victor leaned against the wall, glancing at Sarah. She looked different, more relaxed. "Nice to escape for a minute," he said, crossing his arms. "Getting a bit stuffy in there." He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. She smiled, leaning against the wall beside him. "Yeah, it's nice to breathe." The tension of the night started to fade. "You really know how to keep a woman entertained," she answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied. "Not tonight." He chose the next words with care. "I do my best," he replied, a hint of pride in his voice. "But it's easy when I'm with the right person." Their eyes met, and for a brief moment the noise of the gala faded away. Sarah felt something shift in her chest. He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. "Victor," she started, her voice softer now, "why did you ask me to come tonight? Was it really just to make Clara jealous?" She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. He hesitated, then shrugged. "Maybe at first. But honestly, I like being with you. You're real." His words hung in the air, genuine and unguarded. "I see you, Sarah. Not just the single mom or the woman in red." A warmth spread through her. "I didn't expect to connect like this," she admitted, her voice trembling slightly. "It's nice. Scary, but nice." Their gazes locked, a spark of something deeper flickering between them. He stepped a bit closer, the space between them shrinking. "Yeah, you're not alone in this," he said, his voice dropping lower. "I'm here, remember?" She felt her heart race. It was more than just the thrill of the night, it was something real. As their eyes searched each other, she sensed an almost kiss on the horizon. Just then a car honked nearby, breaking the moment. Sarah pulled back slightly, breathless. The night wasn't over yet, but this was only the start. Victor leaned against the wall, still catching his breath. "We should head back inside before they notice we're gone," he suggested. Sarah nodded, but a knot tightened in her stomach. Something felt off. As they re-entered the ballroom, the atmosphere had shifted. Guests were murmuring, pointing toward a corner where Clara stood, her expression smug. Sarah's heart sank. "What's going on?" she asked, glancing at Victor, who was already moving toward the crowd. He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. "Let's find out," he replied, determination in his voice. They edged closer, and Sarah caught snippets of the conversation. "Look at this message," Clara was saying, her eyes gleaming with triumph. Victor's grip tightened around her hand. She answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied. "Not tonight." He chose the next words with care. "What message?" Sarah whispered, but Victor didn't answer. They pushed through the crowd, finally getting a clear view. Clara held her phone up, the screen facing the group. "Looks like our dear Victor has been playing both sides," she exclaimed, laughter laced with mockery. Sarah's stomach dropped. He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. "Enough, Clara," Victor snapped, stepping forward. "What are you talking about?" Clara smirked, swiping her finger across the phone. "Just this little chat between Victor and some business associate talking about tonight. Did you really think no one would find out?" She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. They held eye contact, neither blinked. Sarah's head spun. Victor turned, his eyes blazing with anger. "That's not what you think," he shouted, but Sarah felt the trust she had built with him crack. She took a step back, unsure of what to believe. "What's going on, Victor?" she demanded, feeling betrayed. He opened his mouth to explain, but Sarah saw it. The message was on the screen, clear as day. Her heart sank further. She felt trapped, caught in a web of lies and betrayal. He thought he was in control. He wasn't. Sarah's heart raced as she stared at the phone Clara held. The words on the screen felt like knives. "Victor, is this true?" she asked, her voice trembling. He opened his mouth, then closed it. "It's not what it looks like," he said quickly. "That's just business." Clara laughed, a sound full of malice. "Business? You're kidding, right? This is your idea of business?" Sarah felt the air leave her lungs. She turned to Victor. "You promised me honesty." "I did," he insisted, stepping closer. "But this isn't how it looks. Clara is just trying to stir trouble." But his words felt flat. Sarah shook her head, backing away. "You should have been more careful. This is the kind of thing that tears people apart." Victor's expression faltered. "You don't understand. It's complicated." She crossed her arms, feeling the distance grow. "Complicated? You're playing with fire, Victor, and I'm getting burned." Behind them, the crowd whispered, eyes darting back and forth, waiting for the drama to unfold. Clara continued, "You're just a distraction for him, Sarah. He's got bigger things to worry about than some single mom with kids." Sarah's cheeks burned. She felt the shame creeping in. "Stop it, Clara," Victor shot back, trying to defend her. But it was too late. The words had hit their mark. In that moment, Sarah knew. This was more than a misunderstanding. Trust was crumbling. "I can't do this," she said softly. "I can't stand here and pretend everything is fine." Victor looked desperate. "Please, just give me a chance to explain." But his voice felt distant, as if he was already slipping away. She turned to leave, feeling the weight of his gaze on her back. A silence hung between them, thick and heavy. As Sarah walked away, she felt a tear escape. The laughter and music faded into a dull roar behind her. The night had shifted from promise to pain. Victor remained frozen in place, the crowd closing around him. They had separated in an instant, and she wondered if this was just the beginning of the end. Someone was listening in the dark. Victor stood frozen as Sarah walked away. The whispers of the crowd buzzed around him like angry bees. His heart pounded in his chest. He needed to fix this. He had to prove to Sarah that he wasn't the man Clara painted him to be. "Sarah!" he called out, pushing through the crowd. "Wait!" She didn't stop. He felt desperation rising in him. "Please!" He hurried after her, his pulse racing. She stepped outside, the cool air hitting them like a slap. Victor caught up, grabbing her arm gently. "Just let me explain." She turned to face him, her eyes glistening with hurt. "You had your chance, Victor. You lied to me." He shook his head. "I didn't lie. I was trying to protect you. I thought Clara was a ghost from my past. I never thought she'd pull this." He could see the anger in her eyes, but he pressed on. "I'm willing to make things right." "Make things right?" Sarah scoffed. "By what? Throwing money at the problem? What about trust?" Victor took a deep breath. He knew he had to sacrifice something. "I'll cut ties with the business deal I was working on. I'll walk away if it means saving this." Her expression softened slightly. "You really mean that?" "Yes," he replied firmly. "I'll give up the contract. I'll lose money, power, everything, just for a chance with you." She blinked, searching his face. "You'd give it all up? Just like that?" He nodded, urgency in his voice. "I don't care about that deal anymore. I care about you. Your trust means more than anything." "Victor," she said slowly, her voice wavering. "That's a big decision. Are you sure?" He stepped closer, locking eyes with her. "I want you in my life. I won't let Clara win. If that means starting over, then so be it." A moment passed, filled with tension and uncertainty. Sarah studied him, weighing his words against her doubts. Then she finally spoke. "If you're serious, then show me. Show me you can be different." Victor nodded, determination lighting up his eyes. "I will." I promise." The night held its breath. He felt the hope flicker between them, fragile but real. He was ready to fight for her, but a shadow still lingered in the dark, waiting. Victor's heart raced as he stood in front of Sarah, the cold air swirling around them. "I'll do it," he said again, urgency in his voice. "I'll walk away from everything Clara has on me." He could see uncertainty flicker in her eyes. She was weighing his words. He felt the weight of the moment. "Walking away isn't enough," Sarah replied, crossing her arms. "You need to mean it. This can't be just a quick fix." Her tone was firm. She wasn't letting him off easy. "You have to prove that you're not just trying to win me back out of guilt." "I get that," he admitted, taking a step closer. "I've messed up. But I want to show you that I can be better. I can be real with you." He could see her processing his words, her eyes searching his face for sincerity. "You need to trust me," he added, his voice low. "Can we start fresh? Can you give us a chance?" "What if this is just another part of your game, Victor?" she shot back, her voice shaking slightly. "I can't be just a pawn in your world. I have my kids to think about." She took a deep breath, and he could see the storm of emotions behind her eyes. "I need to protect myself. I'm not here for drama. I want something real." He reached out, lightly touching her arm. "I promise, no more games. If I can't earn your trust, then I won't drag you into my life. But if we're going to do this, it has to be equal. You and me, together." He watched as her expression softened just a bit. "I want to make choices with you, not for you." Sarah's gaze dropped to the ground, and for a moment silence hung between them. "That's a big promise," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I want to believe you, but it's hard." Victor felt a flicker of hope. "Then let's take it one step at a time," he urged. "Show me you're willing to meet me halfway." She looked up at him, her eyes shining with determination. "Okay." Just then, a siren wail broke the stillness, echoing in the background. They both turned, tension thick in the air. Would she take that leap with him? The sun rose the next morning, casting a warm glow through Sarah's kitchen window. She poured herself a cup of coffee, the aroma calming her racing thoughts. Last night felt heavy, but today was a new day. She thought about Victor's promise. Could he really change? A knock on the door broke her concentration. "Hey, it's me," Victor called from outside. She hesitated, heart pounding. The last time they spoke, the air was thick with tension, but she opened the door and there he stood, nervous but hopeful. "Can we talk?" he asked, running a hand through his hair. "Sure," Sarah replied, stepping aside to let him in. Victor took a deep breath, searching for the right words. "I've been thinking about what we discussed. About trust. I want to show you I'm serious." He held a small bag in his hand, a peace offering. "I brought breakfast. Thought we could start fresh." She raised an eyebrow but smiled at the gesture. "Breakfast? You're really going for it." He nodded, spreading the food out on the table. "I'll do whatever it takes. No more secrets, no more games. Just us." They sat, and as they ate, the tension slowly faded. "Last night was messy," she said, looking directly at him. "You know that, right?" Victor nodded, his expression serious. "I messed up. Clara's a part of my past. I won't let her come between us again, I promise." He met her gaze, vulnerability in his eyes. "I'm ready to prove it, Sarah." She felt a weight lift, but doubt lingered. "It's going to take time. I need to see this change." Victor reached across the table, taking her hand. "I'll show you. I'll respect your pace. You mean too much to me to rush this." A small smile broke out on her face. "Okay, let's take it slow. Together." The conversation flowed easier now, like they were on the same page. Laughter filled the room, and for the first time, Sarah felt hope. They were rebuilding brick by brick. The past wouldn't disappear overnight, but they would face it together. She glanced at him, seeing a future where trust replaced doubt. They had a long road ahead, but it started with today. As Victor looked at her, she wondered, could this really be their beginning?